Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Dive Podcast. I am your host of the Trap or Dive Podcast, Mual and Dre. Dre is in here. AJ is in Madrid. He got to watch that abysmal game in person. And not to say that I wasn't. That's actually an excellent question, bro.
I was thinking, did AJ go to this game?
Because I was about to say, I ain't seen. Maybe I didn't check Instagram either. So like, maybe he didn't. Like I know he wasn't tripping to go, but he did send us the picture outside where he was. They put Jeremy Reeves on the stadium.
Of course, he had to say something about that.
Yeah, he probably had the game, man. Not to say that I wasn't jealous. I should be there right now. I would have loved to watch that game in person, inebriated. But instead, I watched it sober, and I got to watch this game from a different lens, right? From an analyst lens. And Dre, like I said, Dre is in here with me. Appreciate everybody checking in live on the YouTube side. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Audio side, we appreciate you watching as well. Hit the follow button. You know what time it is. Rate and review if you can. Take 10 seconds to do so. And it's free to show your support that way. Washington loses to the Dolphins 16-13 in a game where you kind of thought it was going to be some type of offense going, right? And honestly, Dre, it was offense in the game. They just could not score. Neither team was pretty good in the red zone. I think if I'm looking, Washington went 0 for 3 in the red zone. No touchdowns. Miami, 5 trips in the red zone. Guess how many times they scored? Once. So you're talking about a game where both teams had opportunities to make plays and capitalize, but they just did not want to win. Neither team wanted to win. But Marcus Mariota in overtime decided to settle this once and for all and gave the ball to the Miami Dolphins on the first play of overtime. I'll give you the floor for your opening thoughts. And everybody in the chat, let me know what you're thinking. Obviously, you know I'm reading. We're all reading. So let me know what y'all are thinking about the game. But Dre, 3-8.
3-8. No, I mean, but this was one of the rare games where the defense gave you a chance in the game. I mean, maybe not all because of defense, but Miami helped them out as well. I thought they did some crazy things when they got to the red zone. It just didn't help them out. But, I mean, they played a little bit better today. I mean, I don't know if it was Dan Quinn taking over as defensive coordinator, if they was giving more effort, but for the guys they had out there, I thought they gave the team a chance today to win the game. But for whatever reason, you just couldn't close on drives offensively in this game. But it's like this. It's like kind of like what we go back to when we talk about Cliff Kingsbury getting too cute. I want to say, was it that first red zone drive of the game? We were scoring like we were about to score a touchdown.
3rd and 1.
3rd and 1. Instead of just giving it to C-Rob, you do some kind of loop power, quarterback power run with Mariota. Then you have the penalty. You end up with 3 points. And then one thing that annoyed me late in the game, we're talking about that the last fourth quarter drive where you have a chance. You start from the 3-yard line. You got the first play to Debo, which is a great play. I mean, he gets 20-something yards on that play, which puts you in great position. Now you're like, okay, I'm at the 30-yard line. A minute 30 seconds left. Very next play, they run the damn ball with no timeouts. I mean, luckily for them, Miami saved their ass. But why are we running the ball in that situation? Where's the urgency? And that's the thing that kind of kills me about this team at times. It's like the urgency is lacked all year. Like Cliff, we beg for Cliff to run the football, but then in a situation where you feel like you have to pass every damn down, he goes back to the run with no timeouts. To me, I'm like, man, they have no urgency to win this game. And then, I mean, I'm not going to speak too much on the Mikey Sanders still snap. I mean, whatever. I didn't even know Jalen Lane was hurt, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Was it that catch that he made?
Yeah, they smacked the shit out that man. Yeah, you saw him. He got up and he tried to play it off like he wasn't phased. You know, that's just the tough guy NFL stuff. So he tried to make it to the sideline. Oh no, he tried to get back into the huddle, and I saw him wave over to the sideline like, "Yeah, I need to come out." And I think that was the last we saw Lane. I might be wrong in terms of like the last.
That's the last time I remember him.
That was that hit fucked his hip up.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think to your point too. Yeah, it was just rough. Like, well, a couple things, man. I look at that offense. Cliff has this entire season. Cliff has done a good job sporadically coming out on fire with his play calling, right? I think the most recent time was the Kansas City Chiefs game in that first half with Mariota. Like you came out and like you dialed it up, like you was locked in. And I think the same thing existed against the Miami Dolphins. But at the same time, what hurts this team is the moments in which you talk about. And it drives me crazy. Like 3rd and 1, when you see C-Rod on fire, I think if I'm not, is this his career high? I think he had or maybe
rushing yards.
Yeah, he had 79 on the season. I mean 79 in the game. But that first drive, he's breaking a couple runs for 10 plus yards. So, like, what are we seeing here in a 3rd and 1 situation where you're like, all right, like you know that they know that you're going to try and feed C-Rod, but at the same time, do it anyway. Let them get the yard. You got 2 downs. You know you're going to go for it. Like, go ahead and try to make this happen. And obviously on 4th down, it was a false start, right? So, or some type of penalty. I think it was a false start though. I think offensively, when you look at the game, you know, as good as you can get with Mariota, I think your playmakers did step up. Zach Ertz had a strong first half. Deebo Samuel, he had a solid game overall. And we're talking about from a long-term perspective. I don't see, I mean, there's no future in none of the guys here, right? Like this is just a makeshift trying to make it to week 18 or week 17, week 18. Outside of the younger guys, Jalen Lane, of course, he's hurt. But like I think, I mean, even with the I think in Brandon Coleman, we talked about that on Thursday. How you're talking about that 6 extra linemen. If you're not going to use Trent Scott, make use of Brandon Coleman. And I love the way that they like how Cliff utilized that. Like I think that he listens and for Washington moving forward in terms of the rest of the season, like I think you know who your number 1 back should be. It should be C-Rod. They can talk about the hot hand all they want to. Well, look, Bill, his flame has been extinguished. It ain't there no more. So I think they're finding ways offensively to make things shake. Not to say that it's going to be good enough, right? But you have something that you can lean on. Defensively, I was impressed by their effort. I was impressed by, and when I say effort, I mean, actually, let me rephrase that, not effort. Their intensity. Like they had some really good moments throughout the game. A couple 4th down stops. I mean, the game is on the line. You got the 1 yard line, 2 yard line. For the love of God, I don't know why Miami didn't kick the field goal.
That's what I thought too.
They decided to go for it. Game on the line. What do? You get a goal line stop. You go into overtime. You force an opportunity for your team to kick. Oh my God, to kick a field goal. Leave Matt Gay in Spain. I see the chat. I see people on Twitter.
Yeah, just eat the money. Whatever you paid him, eat it. Easy, ain't it?
Now they're gonna let him rock for the rest of the season, but at the same time, like this is over. It's over.
They already waving the white flag, so you know what I'm saying. I mean, they ain't gonna replace the kicker, but they should be looking for that right now. And I mean, not to say that you're gonna have a guy come off the street that may be great or whatever, but that's what they should be looking at right now because Adam Peters hasn't got the kicker right since he's been here. Well, at least they tried with Brandon McManus. He had this little situation. Austin Cyber looked good. Got hurt.
I thought Zane Gonzalez was straight.
He was okay, but Zane was, I don't know, maybe it was the anxiety that killed me about Zane.
Yeah, now he was a little, it was weird I couldn't pinpoint my finger on Zane. Like the issue was, I didn't think that. I mean, I thought you could roll into 2025 with him. That's what I'm saying.
I thought they would have. Too.
They did. You know? So they saw Matt. They cut Zane and just said, "Hey, bro, we're gonna give you the biggest deal in NFL history, bro.
Guaranteed."
I would never let them forget this, bro. If I see Adam Peters on the street, I was like, "Hey, bro, hey man, congratulations on your gig and all, but you gave Matt Gay the highest paid guaranteed contract in NFL history. How do you feel about that?"
And you know, it's not an excuse anymore. In today's NFL, it's not an excuse anymore to not have a kicker that's reliable beyond 50 yards. Because when you see dudes out here making a record damn near field goals every week, or at least attempting them, you got Brandon Aubrey that's automatic between anything inside of 60 yards. Aubrey's automatic. It's really no excuse not to find a kicker that can be reliable in the ranges.
And funny enough, bro, if he made one of those kicks in regulation, I mean, both of them he missed the regulation, but if he made one of them, that's the game. You win.
Yep.
Defensively, like I said, I like their intensity. There was moments where the effort was just like, yo, what the fuck? A couple runs from Devin A-Chain, where you had him either for a loss of a yard, and he finds a way to pick up at least 9, right? Like they're going to be on screenshotted throughout the season for those who are unaware of, okay, making sure something. Those are unaware of what plays I'm talking about. They're gonna be on social media. You ain't gotta worry about that. But I think schematically it's kind of the bigger story. The players, they aren't good. They aren't good enough, and I think they proved that this game. But schematically, you saw some differences from Dan Quinn. I'm gonna point out the biggest one for me. And you're finding different ways to get pressure. Now, Tua is late on some passes, and that's one thing. But when you have Mike Sanders still on your outside, that's a change that some people were wondering about. Now, granted, this may be due to injury because Trey Amos did get hurt, right? So he may just be playing outside because of the fact that, people are hurt now. But he was out there, and he was playing outside. But then you talk about your blitzes and how you find a way to create pressure, and setting Jonathan Jones on a corner blitz, well schemed in terms of protected, like it wasn't a tail, and Jonathan Jones held his water and got home. I think the way that he schemed things up was slightly different, but you still had some explosives here and there. But what do you think about like the defensive side of the ball? I didn't even talk about the run game yet. We know that's a problem, but what do you think about the defense side of the ball?
Again, I mean, I thought they, like you kind of phrased it how I felt, and I thought they were better, at least from the player side, with the intensity. Like I thought, those guys went out there, gave a lot of effort. I think the one guy that stood out to me in a good, positive way, Jordan McGee. You just see the speed flying around, and I keep coming back to, why couldn't you use that speed all season? Like you see that guy, he's playing fast, the way they like to play, plays violent, whatever you want to call it. But he's one of those guys that kind of stood out to me. And I'm kind of wondering if, you keep giving him more snaps, throughout the season, if you may have found Bobby Wagner's potential replacement, because that's what this is about at this point. It's about finding who's going to be riding what you're going forward, because a lot of these guys won't be riding what you're going forward. But you got to find somebody that's going to kind of be a part of that core and a part of that mix. And I think Jordan McGee is kind of solidifying himself as one of those guys that's part of that mix. But as far as everything else, I'm still disappointed to not see turnovers on that side of the ball, especially when you got Tua. Tua's thrown 13 interceptions this year. Mikey dropped 1 pick. But Mikey was in position. Now, I'll say that, granted, I would probably have to go back and watch the game to see certain things. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I saw people cooking Mike on the drop pick, but that looked like a difficult ass pass to try and catch, bro. Like the dude leaped up in the air in traffic, and like people, of course it hit his hands. So I understand that aspect, but god damn, like. But
we've seen Mikey make tough picks though. That's probably why for me, I'm like, yeah, you got to go make that. His hands is there, but you're right. It was tough, but I still think Mikey can make that play. But Mikey overall, he was playing on the outside, and I thought he looked a lot better. I saw him in a lot of situations where he was there in coverage. Like he wasn't looking lost. And maybe this outside thing is for Mikey. Maybe that's where he belongs.
Nah, don't go there yet. We still got six games, bro.
But the slot just ain't look like it. So that's what I'm saying. If the slot ain't it, and the only time I really can say, well, he looked decent was on the outside. Who knows? But again, yes, we do have more of season. He's probably going to play there for the rest of the season. But yeah, again, you're still not forcing turnovers against a team who's known to kind of commit those type of turnovers. They were able to generate more pressure than I have seen in recent weeks. Dolphins O-line is not all that great now, but still, you were able to, get there. Jacob Martin had a good sack. How did Tua take that one sack? The one where he broke the sack out there, Von Miller chases him down and gets sacked.
All right, he has no you didn't feel somebody chasing you down, bro.
Get rid of the ball. I don't know how Von Miller ended up getting that sack, but hey, that's a sack for Von Miller, man. But yeah, they did generate a little bit more pressure this week. But you're playing against a Dolphins team, that's not really great. They had a good week last week against the Bills, so it's still. What do you take from this game? What can you really take from this? You're going into a bye week now. I know they're still going to play hard. The coaches, the players still going to want to have something to play for. But as a fan, it's like we're 3-8. What do we have to root for the rest of the season?
Well, I think it's going to be the same story from a fan base perspective. Who's going to stand out? I see people. You already mentioned Jordan McGee, right? Talib. Appreciate y'all checking in. Again, if y'all checking in on YouTube side, man, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate that. But Talib mentioned Martin as well as Javon Kinlaw and your guy Jordan McGee as well. Honestly, bro, I kind of think that's kind of the nature of where we're at, player evaluation. And for Dan Quinn, of course, he's trying to win games, and all of this is important to him, right? But you're not going to get too much out of the people that you have around. I think Denver in a couple of weeks, we can cross that bridge when we get there, but Denver's going to be a better test than Miami in terms of your preparation, in terms of your ability to actually, have your younger guys or even people that made splash plays defensively stand out, right? But yeah, this is just what it comes down to. I think Sanders still being on the outside is going to be a big test. I think from the way you described it, you gotta jump the gun in my opinion, but at the same time, I think that's also a perfect way to say we'll know if we need to start keeping him for the future, the last couple years in this contract on the outside, or if we kind of think that he's better off inside. I think that's kind of the determination of development. What works for him, what is he most comfortable with. It just comes down to player development for these last few games, bro.
Yeah, and that's 2 years of sample size when you're talking about a Mikey Sanders still. You got last year. Last year, he didn't look good in the slot at all, but we kind of attributed that to, he's getting adjusted to the NFL. Slot cornerback might be one of the hardest positions to play. Then he played outside for the rest of the season. And he looked more comfortable. Then this season, you go back to putting him in the slot, and he's looked lost all season. Whether you're playing man, zone coverage, whatever, Mikey's just looked lost all season. Now, I didn't know if I could attribute that directly to him just playing slot or whether it was something else going on, whatever the case may be. But then you kind of put him back in that outside first game. Okay, you got a decent production. I thought, he had a decent game for his first game back outside. But again, like you said, he does have more games that he has to prove this because he can go back out against Denver in 2 weeks and look like straight ass again on the outside. And then you're like, what is he good at all? So, yes, this is important. This player evaluation is important going forward these next few games. Like I said, not just for Mikey, you got a couple of other guys out there that you need to evaluate. And like I said, I want to start working Kane Madrano into some of these defensive packages. What do you have in a Kane Madrano? Maybe Kaha. I don't know if he's still injured. I know he got injured last week, but either way,
that's why
you have to get some of those younger guys in there just to see what you have, because the guys you have out there, when you think about the Luvus, the Wagners, and even maybe some of those guys on the defensive line, it hasn't worked with them. So what is the worst that can happen when you go younger? Even if you feel like some of those younger guys are just not ready, what's the worst that can happen at this point? At this point, you got to evaluate to see who's coming with you going forward. So that's where I'm at with it.
Couple things, and we can get up out of here. If we had to do a percentage, special teams, offense, defense, blame, where's the percentage lie? And even coaching staff, so I guess it's 4. Where does the percentage lie in terms of where we placing the blame for this loss. Not that it matters in the grand scheme of things, but on the idea that this is kind of a new look team with Dan Quinn being more involved on one side of the unit. I mean, one side of the team. So, like, where do we kind of put the blame here for this game in particular?
All right, if we're gonna do percentages, I mean, Matt Gay has to be at the top today because, I mean, I don't want to say he cost you. Well, yeah, he cost you 6 points straight.
I'm about to say,
yeah, even that last field goal. When I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, you don't even have to aim right here. All you need is power, and he still pushed the shit to the right.
Bro, they lined him up in the middle, like not even intentionally. It's just the way things work. They lined him up in the middle of the field, bro, and he still found a way for
right. Like, left. Why are you pushing? All you got to do is kick with power, and he's pushing. Like you weren't on either side of the hash mark. You're in the middle of the field. He missed it. That's 2 field goals, 6 points. You lost by a field goal, so. I mean, you got to put him probably at 50% by himself, but then I'm going to probably go 30% on the defensive side of the football. I mean, not defense, offensive side of the football, because you ain't scoring enough points today. I mean, 16 points won the game today. And as an offense, you should be able to put up more than 16 points in the game, even with Mariota. Like, you should be able to go out there and score at least 20 points. So I'm giving 30% of the offense. And I'm going to go 20% to the defense. I mean, I thought they played better, but still at the end of the day, you still were giving up too much on the ground. You had A-Chain locked up a couple of times behind the line of scrimmage. You couldn't bring him down. Waddle's flat out dropping passes, you know what I'm saying, giving you a little bit of assistance on some of his, but still, yes, that's my blame. Matt gave 50%, 30% to the offense, 20% to the defense.
Yeah, see... Well, first off, Moneyball, I was drinking. It wasn't even that much Basil Hayden left. So it's over. It's gone. The bottle gone. I'm done for the day. But it's actually funny though, because I saw your mention of Moneyball specifically, the defense being 60% of the blame. In your percentages, you can have that. That's cool. But I want people to understand, even with the run game being a problem, like, we know that was bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, but Devin A-Chain is also a dog. And while there was splash plays in the run game and like sporadically some here in the pass game, again, 3 sacks, a pair of goal line stands. You had moments where your defense came through for your team.
You gave up 13 points in regulation.
You gave up 13 points. So let's kind of be aware of this particular game, no matter how frustrating it was to see Devin A-Chain make some impossible plays where he should have been tackled. Like, we're very much aware of that. And I say all that to say, not about Moneyball in particular, but those who think that the defense deserves the majority of the blame. I give special teams 65%. I'm not going to rehash everything that you said, Dre. You talked about the missed field goals, but also Mike Sainristil's fumble. Like, come on, man. You got an opportunity. I think at that point, I think it was still tied up, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was still tied up.
Yeah, so you're talking about an opportunity for another possession to try and get down and get a lead. You fumbled the ball. A lot of people were mad at Sainristil being back there. I'm like, well, there's two things. I understand if, especially like going in cold in that moment, you haven't returned punts in the NFL, but at the same time, you're talking about a person who probably didn't expect to return punts in this game either. I understand that angle, but he is not unfamiliar with returning punts. I was not too mad about them putting him back there. But at that point, like, bro, if like, I saw that you were struggling on trying to field it, like I saw it before it happened. Like if you mentally like you trying to gather yourself, bro, and you trying to save field position because it was a great spot. So if you're trying to save field position, like I get that you're trying to get under the ball so we don't lose any yards. But if you're struggling, bro, and you know you're struggling, bro, just back off, bro.
Yeah.
Don't be no hero, man. So 65% special teams for me, for all that entails. I'm gonna go 15% 15 to get me where? That's 80.
80.
Nah, I want to do 20 then. I want to do 20. Yeah, I'm gonna do 20% for the offense because I'm gonna give the defense 15%. So yeah, 20% for the offense. Like again, 13 points in regulation. Or excuse me, 13 points in regulation. Several missed opportunities, and then like Mariota just gave up the game in overtime. Yeah, and then obviously the penalties. I think that's kind of the big thing we talked about all season that we don't need to rehash is untimely penalties and critical moments, situational football. You're not playing smart enough. Point blank, period. So 50% defensively, and that's for some of the things that we mentioned, despite the explosive plays that they allowed. So that's where I'm at. Let me check in with the chat, and then we'll do one sentence takeaways, and we can get up out of here. All right. Let's see. What's up, Kenny? I don't know if Tyler Owens played. He probably plays special teams though. He usually just that's just what he does.
I don't remember.
All right. Fuad said 50% special teams, 30% offense. Amani said something too. Where was his at? Oh, I scrolled up too far. Moneyball, yeah, he said 60% defense. Amani said 50% special teams, 35% offense. Defense is 15%. Jay Tizzy said this game was lost by special teams. Kenny said 60% special teams. Coaching is wow. Okay. I respect it. Where we at? Talib, 70% special teams, 20% offense, 10% defense. Yeah, that toss play was crazy. Junior said coaching 50%, special teams 20%. Everybody else get 30 collectively. So defense and offense got 15 apiece. Why did we call up Edmonds and not Edwards? That's actually a good. I don't know. I'm gonna mind my business. They special teams. I mean, practice squad. So it is what it is. Let's scroll down a little bit. Where the other percentages? Ayoshi 75% special teams, 20% on offense, and 5% defense. And all right, so let's go ahead and get to our one sentence takeaways. I'll go through a few, and then we can get up out of here, Dre. Josh, another one. He says, leave Matt Gay in Spain. Stefan says Quinn can still coach defense. Okay. Chuck says front office players and coaches are not locked in. Nick says, says these guys stink. Just want the cash says top 10 pick me. Obi-Wan, what's up, player? Said Carnell Tate, you are a commander. DM Bumpity Bump. Fans on here talking about the loss improve. Oh, Lord Jesus, not you. Fans on here talking about the loss improves our draft position, our damn clowns. Well, what you want them to do? You about to start saying mock draft soon, player. I'm telling you. It's on the way.
But you know, I never could understand about that. Just to interrupt real quick, I hate when fans say that. Like, why y'all talking about draft, man? We still got a season to play. Well, maybe if the dudes play hard when the season actually mattered, we wouldn't be talking about the draft right now. But they didn't. This is what it is, you know.
Hey, Benz, it's evaluation time. He's in the chat. Big Magic said, "What's good, fella?" Oh, what's up, Magic? What's up, player? I be forgetting he switched to the Ravens. Well, we both suck this year, huh? All right, let me get a couple more. Let me go to the quote tweets. I see more about the kicker. Resh Manuel, what's up? Resh said we're on the 2026. Rail said Commanders should play the rest of the season at 9:30. Hey, well, look at it this way. Oh no, look at it this way. I forgot. Like we do got a couple more primetime games, but they just so happen to be on holidays. So I mean, technically, you know, we can watch Sunday. But unfortunately, we are also the only game on in a big spot in a couple of games moving forward. So it sucks, but everybody has to watch us. Sid says, embarrassing yet still gets us closer to a top 10 pick or a top pick, a win for the day. All right, so let's go ahead and close up out of here. Do we have any lasting thoughts or do we want to wait till Tuesday and check in with AJ as well?
I mean, I don't really have any lasting thoughts on the game. It was just a game I was waiting for to get over with. Like, come on, end this damn game. We're going to overtime, man. But we could talk more about it on Tuesday.
3-8, baby. Hey, again, appreciate everybody checking in live. Enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday. I know Dre and I will be watching our parlays play out the way in which they are intended to. I'm about to say, don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, how we looking suspect, bro? We 4-0. We got 2 good power conference wins. Don't do it with the Hoyas. He wanted to debate me. You know what he did, man. I don't know why he used the Hoyas to do it. But
that's hilarious. All right, we up out of here, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Sunday. Keep your head up. I know y'all heads up. Everybody's in here. So we'll catch y'all Tuesday. AJ, Dre, and myself.
Chop it down. Chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set. Watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Dive.